So, Robbie, what would be your approach if may mag-i-invest na client na what he has is 250,000 a month yung sweldo niya, no debt, and then meron na rin siyang also 2.5 million in emergency fund and 2.5 million of cash underutilized, pero meron siyang property na worth 15 million. And meron siyang out of 250,000, meron siyang 100,000 na worth na pwede niyang i-invest. So, and also, kaya niya ma-tolerate yung volatility and meron siyang 15-year horizon. Yun yung situation. What would you recommend? You mentioned about offshore funds and hindi siya masyado na-discuss kasi madalas ino-offer is what's really in the Philippine context. For people who are interested in knowing more about that offshore funds, na sabi mo nga, pwede mag-tap ng mga gold and all, how do they go about that? And ano yung mga risk kung sa offshore? And ano yung yield na pwedeng makuha? And ano yung mga downside and also upside? Kasi I'm sure, nung sinabi mo yun, uy, okay yun ah. Parang it's something na hindi lagi na o-offer ng relationship manager. So, ano yung, can you expand more of that?
Yeah. So for offshore funds kasi it's essentially just you're investing in the same assets, but the assets are based in, other countries. So kunwari, instead of investing in Philippine listed companies, you're going to be investing in US listed companies. So these are the ones that are typically larger na, they get more coverage in global news. So that's essentially how it works lang. No? You're investing in equities or in bonds outside of the Philippines so that, for example, you are interested in the tech industry, di ba? You follow it closely. Maybe you work in the tech sector din. Pero in the Philippines kasi, yung wala naman tayo masyadong tech stocks, di ba? We don't have a lot or we don't have any. No? So, if you want it, but 'di ba, alam mo na maganda ang tech industry ngayon kasi sila yung with the advent of AI, ganun, ganun. So, I want to invest in stocks that have something to do with AI. But you cannot do that if you just limit your investment scope in the Philippines kasi wala naman tayong stocks na ganun. That's the time that you consider going overseas. And if you look at the performance of the US markets over the past few years, they've been performing quite nicely. They've been performing better than the Philippines for the past few years. So if you were purely limited to Philippine investments, pwedeng hindi mo na-capture yung opportunity na yon pala for growth for your portfolio. So that's what having diversification into offshore funds gets you. Yun namang mga precious metals, again, gold is doing really, really well this year. It's considered a safe haven. So, it's a good idea to also have some holdings in it na usually kasi either it's an ETF lang, excuse me, or maybe it's jewelry. But sometimes mas maganda pa din yung just the simple gold bar kasi it really is just a gold bar that you can purchase, no? So those are things that really expand what's possible when it comes to investing here in the Philippines right now. That definitely this was not available 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah. Yung sa maganda yung sinabi mo na yung mga options na pwede matap yung sa gold and all. So, Robbie, what would be your approach if may mag-i-invest na client na what he has is 250,000 a month yung sweldo niya, no debt, and then meron na rin siyang also 2.5 million in emergency fund and 2.5 million of cash underutilized, pero meron siyang property na worth 15 million. And meron siyang out of 250,000, meron siyang 100,000 na worth na pwede niyang i-invest. So, and also, kaya niya ma-tolerate yung volatility and meron siyang 15-year horizon. Yun yung situation. What would you recommend?
Yeah. Okay, nice, no? That's nice. And that's a very, very good situation to be in, no? So, siguro, first of all, I would make sure that I will put all, no, put all of your assets to work. Meaning, yung underutilized cash niya of 2.5 million, definitely it should be invested in something. So, whether that's bonds, stocks, or even short-term time deposits, pwede, no? Depende na lang yan sa liquidity needs niya. But considering na he also has a substantial amount naman in emergency funds, and he has money coming in monthly naman, I think it might be better for this person to consider riskier assets, like maybe building up their stock reserves, no, putting it in stocks on a monthly basis, putting it in dividend paying stocks. Next is I would try to, convert the property into something that's income generating. If hindi pa siya income generating, no? Perhaps, 'di ba, if possible, if doable, putting up a commercial building or a house that they can rent out, or if farmland siya, making it productive, or kung ayaw naman na niyang gastusan yun, no, that he doesn't want to put up additional capital on it, then maybe they can just lease out the property. Para lang, again, the premise is that you're putting all of your assets to work. No, para hindi lang capital appreciation niya inaakyat niya. For the 100,000 pesos monthly that they can invest, siguro it's going to be a good idea to invest in a basket of assets to diversify. Especially given their time horizon naman is 15 years, which is quite long. Maybe that's 1 to 2 business cycles already. So, you should be able to generate income now, or yields from that, no, based on historical values. It would not be a bad idea to put it in maybe risky assets like dividend paying stocks. Yeah, the blue chip companies that give out regular dividends like Sila Globe, Meralco, Aboitiz Power, stuff like that. They can also put it in real estate investment trusts kasi they also give out dividends. And yeah, that's the time that you might want to venture into other alternative assets like what I discussed earlier, the precious metals, investment by citizenship, maybe offshore funds. And it's a good idea to mix it up, no? Parang you don't have to commit to one particular asset class lang. You can have all of them, no? And siguro lastly, I would make sure that I'm also investing in myself, no? So perhaps, taking courses to learn new skills, to learn new insights. Yan, gagawin ko I would enroll in really, really good schools that, can build up my credibility further, allow me to become a better business person or employee. And then, of course, your health. No, invest in your health na lang din. Upgrade mo na yung upgrade mo na yung lifestyle mo. If you're used to eating, junk foods and the like, you have the capacity to, buy better quality foods right now, do it. So that would be how I would, do with that kind of situation.
I like your recommendation kasi holistic siya. Yes, it's important that you maximize your investment in terms of finances, pero minsan nakakalimutan natin yung sarili natin. Tayo nga yung most appreciating asset And pag nag-invest tayo sa sarili natin, it would really pay dividends not just for ourselves, for our families, and even to our next generations. Kaya walang talo pagka you invested in yourself, kasama na rin yung health, di ba? Health is wealth eh. Pero syempre pagka bata ka, gusto mo lahat ng unhealthy kasi yun yung masarap. But when you get older, di ba? Katulad ko, dati lakas kong kumain ng unhealthy food eh. Ngayon, I'm really careful in what I eat. Syempre, araw-araw pa rin ako nag-ice cream, pero dapat lagi may gulay, okay yung protein, and importante yon.